Hi guys, you got some more from Zo. It's KZ here from Cape Town. How you doing? How you doing? What I'm vaping on today is, believe it or not, out of all my mods, the one I find I actually use the most is one of the cheapest ones. And this is the Manto S from Rinko. But yeah, nice polycarb dual battery mod, very light and very comfortable. And on it, of course, is the Toren Beast. But we will be looking at this little guy today. Now this is the Coil Jig, which is a collaboration with Daryl Brown and Hein from Ohm1streetcrew. They are local South Africans, and these jigs are available at Juicy Joe's, a few other vendors as well. But yeah, I got mine from Juicy Joe's. I will post a link at the bottom over there where you can actually have a look at these guys. Now I think they retail for anything between 400 and 450. Most of the shops is for about 430 bucks. Now this little coil jig promises to be the solution to all our frustrations for the guys using the dialers. Now it is a 3D printed jig. I know you can get not a similar, but I mean you can also get a 3D jig plan on the internet, available for $10. And this guy does not use ball bearing swivels. It does not use these standard cheap swivels which the dialerless kits actually provide with you. These guys use dual thrust bearings. Okay, now in case you're wondering what a dual thrust bearing looks like, there's a little pic that you can quickly check out. But it comes with a variety. You either get the round ball bearings inside, or you get the cylinder type ball bearings, but all different types of these little guys. The advantage of using these guys is it accommodates a huge load. Now what I find with a lot of guys with the bunching up of the wire is that as soon as you clap in a wire and it gets longer and longer, it gets heavier, and that puts some extra strain on the swivels, and that could lead to bunching up. Alright, so if there's nothing wrong with your surface, if there's nothing wrong with your jig gliding around, if there's nothing wrong with your tension on your spool, if your small little guide which is being included is nice and open and clear on the inside, then you've only got that problem with the swivel side. So yeah, hopefully this guy will be the solution. Now I'm going to do two different builds to test out this guy. Now this little guy apparently can accommodate any load up until 10 kilograms. And how do I know this? Because it says it on this nice little sticker pamphlet which they've got over there. Now it says here, brought to you by Ohm1streetcrew, Insta DKB the Vape Life, blah blah blah, Instagram probably, in collaboration with Ohm1, Insta Hein Builds, Instagram. Full 3D printed and designed with a thrust bearing stack, which means there's two of them together. This coil jig aims to reduce resistance, minimize snags, and create redundancy. Thoroughly tried and tested, it's the perfect choice for inspiring coil makers. Please note that even though great attention to detail has been taken to provide you with the best possible product, 3D printing still has its limitations, and then it gives you the warning. The maximum load for this coil jig is 10 kilogram, warranty void if exceeded. So there you go. When I started building a few years ago, I scoured the internet just to find out for all kind of gimmicks and all kind of tools that could assist in the building process. And I mean, there is a few that has been available since 2016, and I'll post a few of the designs which you also do get. But this little guy I like, because I mean most of them you can attach to your desk. You can screw them onto your desk for stability, which I will do with this guy as well. Most of them has got a platform at the back though, but I feel this one which has got the platform in front is going to be nice, because as soon as you screw this in, because this guy's going to tend to go forward, but you have got it locked in place in the front, I think it's just going to add to that stability. Now most of them do have this rotating facility, and that basically just caters, you got the up and down and a bit of sideways play. Now that caters for when your core wire obviously changes direction, or you move up with your drill, then this guy moves along. Now these different parts are kept in place by Allen keys. Now I've got a nice bicycle Allen key tool, so I will disassemble this main component just so that I can comfortably put in my screws. So yeah, let's quickly do that. Okay, now as you can see, there's a very nice little long screws which on both sides keep this little rotating guy with the thrust bearings on the inside. But yeah, and then you can also, obviously you've got Allen Allen key screws on those sides as well, so that if you want to loosen or just tighten this little section for its vertical rotation, then you can do that as well while it's on the outside. And now I've got this guy nice and open, and I can screw down this, but this is basically the components it consists out of. And there you will obviously attach your wire, and boom shakala. So we will see if this guy manages to make the coils and make you smile while doing it as well. So let's quickly screw this guy onto the desk. Alright, so I've also reattached my little swivel head, okay, and I only used one screw. I think one screw is sufficient. It's screwed nicely down. Alright, so the first build which I'm going to do is I'm going to take two straightened 26 gauge stainless steels, and I'm going to put this through this little guy so that I can make a core of 4. There you go. There's 2 and another one. Okay, so now we've got 4 26s running next to one another, and then I'm going to put it through my little straw. First remove this little guy, and then it has to all exit in front. There you go. Make them nice and even in front. Okay, then I'm going to take this little guy and make sure that they're all passing through here. There you go. And then my little 26 gauge guide. Make sure these guys are all next to one another. Slip this guy on, easy as pie. Put it inside the hole, and there we've got them nice next to one another. And now I'm going to take a piece of my clamping wire. Just tighten the spool for now so that it doesn't come loose. Clean the point. Insert it through the top hole. There we go. Cool beans. And then, while still making sure that these guys are next to one another, I'm going to wrap some around the front portion. Okay, got a few wrapped over, and then I'm just going to take my plier and just flatten these guys next to one another, and then commence a few more times. Cut off the excess, just get rid of that. Just flatten the guy a bit though, just to make sure that they're next to one another, and then we're going to insert it inside the front of our drill. And now we will see. Proof is in the pudding. Tension is ready, clamping wire is ready, 4 guys are next to one another, and drill is on number 1. Let's give this guy a bash and actually see how it works. It's coming along very nicely. It's got a nice swivel on it. Okay, let's cut off a piece, reverse the angle, grab hold of it here, and anti-clockwise. Not too shabby, guys, not too shabby. And I think those are mighty nice looking coils. 3mm diameter, 4 wraps, 4 26 gauge next to one another, wrapped with 38 gauge. Nice cloud blowing coils these. Alright, for the second build which we're going to do, I've already prepared a frame staple. Right there you can actually see the frame staple at the bottom running over there with the 28s on the outside and 6.3 ribbons wires on the inside. Right, so I quickly turned a frame staple coil. There you go, one which I want to use in my Hadley. And it looks decent. Question is, does the coil jig work? Yeah, it does. It does. Does it work better than my ball bearing swivels? I would say the same. Because I've got special ball bearing swivels, which is kind of expensive there. So yeah, they did exactly the same job as what my ball bearing swivels did, which means they work extremely well. So yeah, this little coil jig actually works. That dual thrusted swivels or bearings, it does the job. I didn't put a load of 10 kilogram on this little guy, but it kept on turning. You saw in the videos. So thank you Daryl and Hein from Ohm1streetcrew. You guys can find them on Facebook as well. As I said, the Instagram is there, but I'll do a post to Juicy Joe's website where you can actually get this coil jig. As I say, it's 430, and the amount which you actually pay for good coils, it might in the long run be worth your while. But I can guarantee you are going to struggle in the beginning, because there's a lot of factors which need to be in place for you to make decent coils. It's not just buying wire and getting a perfect coil the first time. You are going to lose a lot of wire in the beginning. So yeah, most likely, put it that way. And that is me. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you saw a new little jig which you will be able to use. This is Kaiser signing over now. Cheers.